COVID Amnesty, an article in the Atlantic written by Emily Oster. She's some kind of educator, maybe a professor. I don't know. I'll put it up there on the screen. And it's funny because like a year or so ago, I was doing videos about this exact possible situation, thinking that it would never occur, you know, because I thought we were on a path that we weren't going to get off of, and luckily we did. But yeah, I thought about this scenario, this possible scenario of things somehow going back to normal. If it did go back to normal, I remember the example I'd use often was, how am I supposed to sit in a restaurant that I'm now allowed to go into, across from someone who was calling the Gestapo on me, or wanted me in a camp, or dead, or as Colbert said on his show, like beaten, put into a hospital. At the very least, separated from society in some way, forcing this thing onto people that they knew nothing about. It's just the TV told them to do it, and they'll be damned if they don't listen to the TV. Since then, my theory on why that is has evolved as far as why there's a group of people that will just do anything they're told to do. The takeaway word is people, but that's not what this is about. This is about, I mean, I almost verbatim, I talked about this possibility, and what I was saying was, how could you ever trust these people again? You know, these people were gonna turn me into Gestapo. I would have gladly done that, or had me in a camp, or any number of things that were being bandied about as things to do with those who were refusing the mark, you know. And now we're here. Amazingly, I didn't think we were going to get here. I figured the way these people operate, and they always have, is if they have you in a position, right, why would they ever like rescind that or take that back? They evil works in this way. They come to a door and they push it. If it opens, they walk in and they go to the next door. You know, if there's resistance on the door, they wait, mill around a little bit, maybe try some other stuff, come back and see if it opens again. Once that door is open, it doesn't close. You know, usually they don't go back through it. And I remember when they were turning away from what I thought was going to be the path, which I just thought more fascism, more totalitarianism, just a 1984 scenario. I was really suspicious and blown away when we started to move away from that, and I probably have just as many hours talking about that strange situation, like why are they backing off this, especially when it was so successful and they had so much of the population doing whatever they told them to. So now that it's really becoming obvious, excess deaths, all this other stuff, I mean, you know, it's kind of all coming out. It has slowly been. It's been a slow drip, you know. But even the normiest of normies are like, hey, you know, I don't know if we need to wear those masks all the time and have people lose their jobs over it. Actually here, it has never ended. It's still macho grande here. You see people all day long, masks on, all day long. It's because of how it's politically aligned as well, because the thing became political right from jump. And you could see who was going to take what side, because it always has to go into team red, team blue. It's a horizontal trap. I mean, it's called left and right. I mean, what more do you want for evidence? But so what it is now, it's like a virtue signal that you're on a certain team. And it was kind of like that the whole way through. When people would get really upset for not having the mask over the nose, it wasn't because, well, of course it wasn't because of health and, you know, safety. It would always be funny. It's like, well, I'm just, you know, it's for your health. It's like my health. You know, strangers on the street saying this type of shit. It's like, if I was on fire on the side of the road, you wouldn't piss on me. What it is when they see someone not following what the team is doing, it's a Yankees-Red Sox situation, and they immediately put you on that other team. And they don't know you, right? They don't know you, so a lot of the crazy, like, demonic hatred that would come out, and, you know, where they'd spurg over it, is because of what you represent to them in their mind. You know, they look at you with the not having it over the nose, and they instantly, in their mind, they're thinking Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. It's insane, but that's exactly what it is. So that's why it's like, you know, on the one hand, you don't want to take it personally, but on the other hand, if, you know, you're being turned into the Gestapo to be put in a camp, you kind of have to take it personally. You know, so it was good overall, because what it did is it showed me that a lot of the population, or a lot of people, how you doing, man, are a danger to me. They're a danger to me. You know, like they want amnesty now after all this has happened. But if none of this had come out, they would still be staying the course. And if it was to go back to it tomorrow, they would go right back to wanting me in a camp. So yeah, that's not going to happen. And then you think about, you know, I've watched those videos of mothers dying, like old elderly people dying, not being able to touch their kids. You know, a sheet of plastic. This one guy was showing a screen, you know, that his mother was behind. It's like, fuck you forever. No way. It's inhuman. They're the virtue signal for their team. I can't even, like, really articulate how reprehensible that is. Like, the whole idea of having a loved one, your mom or something, like, not being able to hug her grandkids one last time. They made this happen. You know, they inflicted a lot of pain, and they killed a lot of grandmas too. Then again, it was part of the plan, and they killed a lot of they killed a lot of people were killed from this, you know, for various ways. Went into the hospital, there was procedure in place, and they never came out. I didn't think we'd ever come to a situation here where we can really take stock of the whole scenario and look at it and see all the evil that has happened, because I thought we were going just straight through that business as usual. And I had these, and I would do these videos about these fantasy scenarios. Well, not fantasy, but, you know, imagine what if, you know, this comes out that it's all fake. I mean, most of us knew it was. I mean, watching this for sure. But I didn't think it was going to happen. If that happened, what would they say? Like, oh, sorry, bro. You know, sorry about separating you from your mom when she was dying. Sorry you lost your job. Sorry your kid's development got totally fucked up. Sorry you had to be separated from your children. Sorry you lost your business, became completely destitute. Sorry your wife committed suicide because she couldn't handle the pressure. But, we didn't have the right information. Meanwhile, at the time, they're telling us that the fucking science is settled. Believe the science. Trust the science. Ask one of those motherfuckers what the science was, and that was a good way to shut them up, because they had no idea. I mean, they're really just repeating what they're being told. And this perplexing situation is what led me to begin theorizing on exactly what a lot of people are. And I mean, almost right away you can tell they're different from you in some way. The lack of empathy and understanding and the willingness to do anything for their team, whatever it is, even in the abstract, going against their own best interest and going against humanity. It was fucking wild. And now that we're out of it, and you can look back on it, I think it was a mistake for them to even bring it up. And I know it was just one woman from a university, but these things aren't done in a vacuum. Media is very specific about how they do things. To me, this was the beginning of some kind of campaign. They're floating things out there. And just as a guess, I think they would still continue to use those sort of shame tactics, except now they probably want to make it so that if you don't accept apology, then you're absolutely a crazy person and have to be depersoned and put in a camp again. They showed what they would do. They revealed the lengths they would go to because the TV said so. That's frightening. It's incredibly frightening. I now know that a lot of people are a danger to me, and it's good that they mark themselves by wearing the fucking stupid face nozzle, because now I know, the guy over at that store, the guy that owns the bikes thing, I'm gonna stay away from him. Not to extract any kind of revenge, or you can't do that. I just did a whole thing about that yesterday, but you can't aggress on anyone that's tangentially even connected to the beast. And at that point, these people are connected to the beast, doing his bidding, or they're direct tools of the system that were created with the system to facilitate the testing of divine beings. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole I don't really have time for here. But so now we're faced with this. And I think that the worst thing they could have done is try to float this amnesty thing out there. I think they should have just shut up, but they can't. They can't help themselves. They need conflict. They have to have some kind of conflict. Oh, go ahead. And they need that division. And this was an ultimate divisionary tool. And they want to keep it going. It's the same thing. It's the same method. It's just the subjects have changed. It's pitting one group against another, and this is a new way to do it. Now, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't really sense anything from this scenario, except that this isn't the end of it. They may back off a little bit because the response to it was so bad. People really, really got mad. And I think, if anything, you kicked up a hornet's nest by doing that, because I think people were just kind of numbed out from this experience. The thing about, loved ones losing jobs, losing lives, the horror of the whole thing. They're kind of numbed out from it. And what they're doing is they're saying, oh yeah, remember that? This is all my fault. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying to you. So people who are kind of numbed out, just stumbling through this year and trying to still pull shit together, get their life back together, like, yeah, it was you. So it wasn't a good idea. But I think it's ultimately what they want to do, and I think they're going to continue to try to do that. And they're just floating it out piece by piece. And I think ultimately what they would like to do is create a new scenario for a shame and division. To say, if you can't forgive people for, you have to understand, the science was telling us this and that. It's just, it's a mix of emotions, man. It's an abstract feel. Well, it's not really an abstract feel, but it's, I never thought it would happen. You know, I would talk about the scenario a long time ago when this all kicked off. I was like, well, because I knew what it was. A lot of us knew what it was. And I figured either two things are going to happen. I'm going to continue down this road and into 1984. And that's 90% of what I was thinking. I thought, I don't know. Like, I didn't think there was even a chance of getting off that road. Somehow, for whatever reason that I still really haven't figured out, but, you know, I haven't given that a lot of thought or a lot of time. I could figure it out. But for whatever reason, we got off that road and we find ourselves in that scenario. It's a big thing, you know, it's really but I think they made a lot of people angry who weren't currently enraged. Everyone's, you know, has that low-key rage going on under the surface, especially to do with the whole ordeal. But they kicked the hornet's nest of humans, or those with divinity, those with empathy, those who won't do whatever the TV says. You kick that hornet's nest. And I think, you know, if I had to guess, I would say they're going to back off a little bit. It'll start some smaller conversations, of course, you know, some goofballs on Twitter or something. But I think the establishment, because this person is of the establishment, you know, the colleges are just training grounds for demonic behavior. It's Satan's school. So it's like they'll try it again. You know, that's just how they operate. But I don't know if they anticipated this kind of response. This kind of raw, emotional hatred. Because it made people take stock, you know, of what happened. It made people think about it. And that was a bad idea, I think, for them. They're really kind of fucking up with a lot of shit. And it goes back to the fact that because they're rushing it. They're rushing the end times. They're rushing this thing. You know, they're trying to do it too fast. As I always think about that video of the rabbis cornering Netanyahu after a speech saying, you know, what's going on with the Messiah? We need him to, we need to move this along. And I'm looking at these guys, like, very old men, very old rabbis. And so they want to see this in their lifetime. You know, they want to see the Messiah return. Their Messiah is not our Messiah, as everyone always says. It's like Satan, okay? Can we just fucking say what it is? So they're rushing it. And by rushing it, and they're not super competent to begin with, the mortal minions have to carry this stuff out. For the most part, they have to do the legwork. And they're just, it's not that just that they're incompetent. We also have the Veil situation, the Veil Bro Scale Bro, where we're able to see what they're doing, where we couldn't before. So it's a perfect storm of a bad time for them. And yeah, this is just another fuck up. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, you know. I don't really have a good guess. I don't really have any solid thoughts on it. I mean, this is, you know, kind of a new thing, so. But it'll be interesting to watch. You know, shit, everything these days is interesting to watch. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.